Rodrick has an English paper due tomorrow, and Mom's actually making him do it himself for once. Rodrick doesn't know how to type, so he usually writes his papers out on notebook paper and then hands them off to Dad. But when Dad reads over Rodrick's work, he finds all sorts of factual errors. Like, well, for starters, Abraham Lincoln didn't write To Kill a Mockingbird. Rodrick doesn't really care about the mistakes, so he tells Dad to just go ahead and type the paper like it is. But Dad can't stand typing a paper with errors in it, so he just rewrites Rodrick's paper from scratch. And then a couple days later, Rodrick brings his graded paper home and acts like he did it himself. This has been going on for a few years, and I guess Mom decided she's going to put an end to it. So tonight she told Dad that Rodrick was going to have to do his own work this time around, and that Dad wasn't allowed to help out. Rodrick went in the computer room after dinner, and you could hear him typing about 1 letter a minute. I could tell the sound of Rodrick typing was driving Dad totally bananas. On top of that, Rodrick would come out of the computer room every 10 minutes and ask Dad some dumb question, like, "Where's the space bar again?" After a couple of hours, Dad finally cracked. Dad waited for Mom to go to bed, and then he typed Rodrick's whole paper for him. So I guess this means Rodrick's system is safe. At least for now. I have a book report due tomorrow, but I'm really not sweating it. I found the secret to doing book reports a long time ago. I've been milking the same book for the past 5 years. Sherlock Sammy Does It Again. There are about 20 short stories in Sherlock Sammy Does It Again, but I just treat each story like it's a whole book, and the teacher never notices. These Sherlock Sammy stories are all the same. Some grown-up commits a crime, and then Sherlock Sammy figures it out and makes the person look stupid. I'm kind of an expert at writing book reports by now. All you have to do is write exactly what the teacher wants to hear, and you're all set. Things like, "Man, Sherlock Sammy is so smart, and I'll bet that's 'cause he reads so many books." And the teacher would comment on my paper, "I'll bet you're right." There were a bunch of hard words in this book, but I looked them up in the dictionary, so now I know what they mean. I guess you're a bit of a sleuth yourself. A+. So he just rewrites Rodrick's paper from scratch. So he just rewrites Rodrick's paper from scratch. Mom decided she's going to put an end to it. Mom decided she's going to put an end to it. On top of that, Rodrick would come out of the computer room every 10 minutes. On top of that, Rodrick would come out of the computer room every 10 minutes and ask Dad some dumb question. But I'm really not sweating it. But I'm really not sweating it. Some grown-up commits a crime, and then Sherlock Sammy figures it out. Some grown-up commits a crime, and then Sherlock Sammy figures it out and makes the person look stupid.